Hello everyone and welcome to Sinful Gaming. I hope you're all doing well, I hope you're all staying safe, and most of all I hope you're all fighting that war against the Grey. Today we've got another video in our Start Collecting series. This series is all about taking a look at the various Start Collecting boxes available for Warhammer Age of Sigmar and giving you some thoughts on what's in the box, how it is to start the army in particular that is a Start Collecting box for, and how we can expand that army further. Today we are looking at the request of one of our YouTube subscribers at the Start Collecting Daemons of Tzeentch. So what Tzeentch is Tzeentch is a very magic and shooting heavy focused chaos army. In this particular box it focuses on the Daemon side of Tzeentch, as most chaos armies are generally split between mortal followers and Daemon followers. So this Start Collecting box starts out with the Daemons. So let's have a look at what is inside the box first. Well, first of all, it's interesting, this one, because the chariot you can see up at the back left and the hero in the middle of the picture at the front there are actually part of the same kit. That is the Burning Chariot of Tzeentch kit, and this can be built in a multitude of different ways. You can see on the chariot in the back it has this weird creepy looking daemon that is known as an Exalted Flamer of Tzeentch. And you can see the hero at the front is a Herald of Tzeentch. The chariot itself can be built in a few different ways. It can either be built as a regular Burning Chariot of Tzeentch, an Exalted Burning Chariot of Tzeentch, which we see pictured here, or you can even mount the Herald of Tzeentch on the chariot. If you choose to put the Herald of Tzeentch on the chariot, you can actually have the Exalted Flamer on foot by himself, and there's many different ways you can build that kit. So for this though, I do recommend starting with just an Exalted Burning Chariot of Tzeentch, mainly for an awesome model to paint. It also is probably one of the more effective ones, and starting with a Herald of Tzeentch on foot to begin with, just so we can start learning the game. We then look at the units in the box, and this box actually has quite a few units compared to some of the other Start Collecting boxes. We have a unit of 10 pink horrors. They are really awesome. They actually split, and we will need to actually purchase some other models to make full use of their rules after the case, but they do give you, they are in fact a wizard in their own right as well, so a unit that is a wizard, which is really cool. They split off into smaller blue and then further brimstone horrors, and as I said, you will need to purchase them separately to get full use out of this box. However, for the meantime, just using them as is and not working with the splitting is a fine alternative. They do some decent shooting, and they are, when a Tzeentch hero is nearby, actually -1 to hit, so they can have some decent staying power to them. Up the back there you can see something on the foot, 3 of them in fact, much like the thing mounted on the chariot, and they are called Flamers. Flamers are all the craze at the moment, and they are a really cool Daemon shooting unit with quite a powerful attack. They work well with the rest of the army, which is a heavy focus on doing shooting, and so are a cool addition. The last unit up the back is the Manta Ray looking Screamers of Tzeentch. These are an extremely fast unit and give you something that you can move around the board with quickly. All in all, I do think this box is quite a great Start Collecting box. It gives you some really cool kits to work with. The unfortunate part is that the pink horrors unfortunately will require you to buy extra models on top of this box in order to make full use of them. However, we've got a kit with so many options in the Burning Chariot of Tzeentch kit that this almost makes up for it, because you can just swap around these parts. You can potentially even learn some things about magnetizing and magnetize the kit so it can be whatever you want, which is really cool. And then we've got Screamers and Flamers. You've almost got every variation of Daemon in the Tzeentch force in this box, which allows you a lot to learn. So you've got all the different parts you can start learning with. So where do we go from here is the question. Well, to start with, the most obvious one, and that I haven't actually put it up on screen because I've mentioned it quite a bit already, is to buy more Horrors of Tzeentch. You can buy a separate box which will contain things called Blue Horrors and Brimstone Horrors, and you will need 2 of those boxes to make full use of the current amount of pinks you have in the army. You can then increase the amount of pinks, and every time you do, you will need to get more blues and brimstone horrors as well. But this becomes a really cool unit to play with, and is a really fun mechanic when the opponent thinks they've killed your pinks and then all of a sudden they start splitting out into other little daemons. You could also expand upon both the Flamer and the Screamer units, and the Chariots can actually go in units as well, which is really cool. But where do we go to next after we've done everything we can with the units currently in the box? Well, we want to look at some more battle line options, and Tzeentch, while we've got most of the Daemons here, also has some mortal followers that fill the battle line role. You can see them in the bottom left, and they are known as Kyric Acolytes. Kyric Acolytes are cultists of Tzeentch and are a really fantastic model range. They are some of my favourite sculpts in all of Age of Sigmar, from the amazing Volchark to just the weapons and the armour patterns. They are a really fun and interesting kit, and will give you something a bit different to test your painting skills with over that the Daemons might not offer. You can also potentially go big or go home, and that, of course, I'm talking about is the Lord of Change, the giant, as known by many people here in Australia, the bin chicken. He is the greatest of all Daemons of Tzeentch, a mighty wizard and a terrifying opponent. This Daemon model is huge in comparison to anything in this box and will be a great centerpiece for your Tzeentch army. You can also build this potential kit as a named character variation known as Kairos Fateweaver. It's a cool two-headed variation of this current Lord of Change kit, and is an even more powerful wizard with some really unique and cool abilities, such as the ability to change dice rolls at will. Up above the Lord of Change, we've got the Tzaangor, more mortal followers of Tzeentch. The Tzaangor are beastmen who've sworn fealty to this particular dark god. You can see in the picture I've got Tzaangor Enlightened, which are an elite beastmen Tzaangor unit, and you can either have them as the combat variation or potentially as a shooting alternative mounted on disc known as Tzaangor Skyfires. There is also an option for a normal foot troop known just as Tzaangors, which are a cool troop that fights on foot instead of on the discs. And there is also a shaman model available as well, which is a hero and once again another wizard, as its name suggests. Tzaangor are a great addition and will add some combat potential to your army that otherwise it might be lacking. Another area you can go looking in is the Slaves to Darkness range. The Slaves to Darkness range is actually really great in the fact that you can mark many of the models within that range with the Mark of Tzeentch, which allows you in your Tzeentch army to take them without the need of allies. Chaos Warriors, Chaos Knights, Chaos War Shrines, Chaos Chosen, and Lords of Chaos, and Chaos Sorcerers, and many other options are all great additions to your army. They'll also add some potential combat units as well, which is something that you might lack with the original Start Collecting box. The last thing I want to mention too is going back to the Kyric Acolytes, we can also talk about more Arcanites. The Arcanites are the mortal range, and there are plenty more things besides Kyric Acolytes and Tzaangor. There are lots of different heroes like the Ogroid Thaumaturge, and the different sort of heroes like Magister, and even a cool Gaunt Summoner. But that's it for today, talking about the Start Collecting Daemons of Tzeentch. I'd like to know your thoughts, and if you have any questions about the Start Collecting box or ideas or where you want to go maybe after picking up this box, please leave them in the comments down below. Also, if there's a Start Collecting box you'd like to have a little chat about and talk about, then please leave that one in the comments down below as well. I hope this has been helpful for anyone thinking of starting Age of Sigmar or potentially starting this army in Age of Sigmar. This is not necessarily the most competitive talk in the world, but this will give you an army and some units that enable you to learn the game as best as possible with this particular faction. Enough from me now though. Thank you to everyone for watching. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe. We are so close to that 1,000 subscriber mark, which is amazing, and I can't wait to get there. Once again, stay safe everyone, stay well, and most of all, keep fighting that war against the Grey. I will see you all again real soon.